The one that I have the strongest memories of was when we were in Guyman. We toured the Seaboard plant. It was an impressive operation. I've always driven through the Panhandle to get to Colorado, right? That's why so many people from the eastern side of the state go to the Panhandle, but it was really nice to experience the Panhandle for a few days. I worked at a camp, a YMCA. So I'm a Y kid, YMCA of Greater Tulsa. And I would hang out at what was the Thornton Y all summer while my parents were both working, and went and attended Camp Takatoka. And then I was staff at Camp Takatoka. And one summer, nobody volunteered to run last night campfire. And I didn't volunteer for it either. The camp director at the time was Marilyn Wilson. And Marilyn came up to me and said, "You're gonna run last night campfire." I said, "Oh no, Marilyn, I don't need to do that." And she said, "Sometimes we're given a gift from God and we have an obligation to use it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And it was a good last night campfire, but it was nice of her to encourage me that way, and it had an impression on me. And so I find myself volunteering for way too many things now. I think that a lot of people will say college presidents have a lot of constituents when you think about it. We've got our students, we still have parents, faculty, staff, our Board of Regents, the legislature, the Chamber of Commerce, our superintendent partners, our university partners. So there are a lot of constituents. So how do we work with them all? Well, I mean, as leaders, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm the leader now, people are gonna do it my way." It's really a series of you adapting yourself so that you can make it all work. So I really try to encourage people to open their mind and think about how they can adapt and how they need to ask others to adapt as well. I'm not sure I ever set out to be a college president. When you've been a vice president for a while, it occurs to you, but there's also so many exciting things going on. I was at the OSU Center for Health Sciences for 17 years. We'd made a lot of great progress, and it was still moving forward very fast. But this position came open in the community, and I had a few community members say, "You know, Leigh, you'd be really good at that." I was an elected member of the Tulsa School Board at the time, and so my engagement in the community of Tulsa was pretty broad. I decided that, well, okay, this is a leadership position in the community that I think I can bring some value to, especially with my relationship with the K-12 community and then also the university community. So I went through the process. I studied up on what the expectation was of community colleges going forward, kind of what was the trend, what's our next big wave of work, and it really excited me. And so I moved forward with the process, and I was a successful candidate. There was a meeting, an executive team meeting on the first day, and I remember on the first day I changed who attends those meetings. I walked down the hallway and said, "Hey, can you come into this meeting?" And that's something that can be really nerve-wracking for a team when a president comes in and starts shifting things around. There's no wrong way to do it. It's all based on your leadership style, right? And how you like to lead a team. It's just, you can't do it without your team. That's really the job of any leader, is to steward the talent in any organization.
Please join me as we welcome Dr. Leigh Goodson to the stage.
Well, I just have a few things to say and a few people to recognize, but I promise I timed it, so we're not going to be here all night. I'm so excited about this evening and seeing Class 23. Are you here? Yeah! All right. That was an incredible time with people that remain great friends, and I just want Class 23 to know I did not bring the cutie oranges or the veggie tray for the happy hour afterwards tonight. So I just want to thank Leadership Oklahoma for acknowledging the organizations and coworkers that I've had the privilege to work with by recognizing me. I am humbled, as this honor is a collection of experiences where I was just one player of a team dedicated to public service, such as my LOK classmates, some of my college president colleagues who are here this evening too. They're going to be silent. They're not going to do a woohoo. Okay. Yeah. The incredible team at Tulsa Community College, and of course our courageous Board of Regents and others here this evening committed to a better Oklahoma. I want to take a moment, though, to tell you how LOK had a pivotal role in getting me to this podium this evening, besides the obvious that a hardworking committee looked at all of the candidates. Does anyone remember the show Connections? It was a documentary series on PBS, I'm totally dating myself, that ran for 3 seasons, and the host, James Burke, is a British historian of science, and he would take a problem or a discovery, and that had occurred, and he would work backwards to show in the episode the origin of how that discovery came to be. For instance, agricultural technology is traced to its origins in ancient Egypt and the invention of the plow. So let me tell you how LOK got me here this evening. And I have a good case of Oklahoma allergies, so bear with me. After my year in LOK, I became much more aware of the concerns in our K-12 schools and how we can best serve students. Even though I was already part of the education community, my understanding of the challenges in K-12, in contrast to higher education, was not what I would call deep. As a result, I got more involved in the Foundation for Tulsa Schools. Lucky Lamons was there at the time. Both my kids were enrolled in TPS. Then I met some other community leaders that were involved in Tulsa Public Schools. And one day, Susan Harris, class 22 of the Tulsa Chamber, wanted to have breakfast. During breakfast, she said, "Some of us have decided you need to run for the school board." So I did, and we raised money, and with a ton of help from donors, many of who were LOKers, help knocking 1,000 doors, thanks Mark Goodson for your logistics engineering on that, and help making thousands of calls and a lot of PTA presentations, we won the election. Then people were able to kind of know who I was and what I stood for, and in my 3rd year, President Tom McKeon announced his retirement, and maybe, and probably, based on my work on the TPS board, several suggested that I apply. So I did, and couldn't believe I got it. I'd considered it a complete long shot. And here we are at TCC. With Mark by my side, I continue to have the best role in the state of Oklahoma at one of the strongest community colleges in the nation, while we are teamed up with our steady and insightful Board of Regents, all of us focused on our student-first decisions. A couple of our regents are here this evening, Regent Wes Mitchell and our board chair, Regent Karen Lawhorn of class 21, and I'm so grateful for their support. But who I must acknowledge here this evening is my family. There are not many partners like Mark Goodson that would tolerate all of the distractions I allow myself and us to get involved in. And while I'm getting a little better at saying no, I still usually say yes, which means more time away from family, all in the name of a better college, a better community, and a better state. And to my 2 awesome kids, Luke and Shay, they are very patient with me. Finally, I want to thank Leadership Oklahoma, the board, and all the members, and all of the supporters of this great organization. You don't just touch the lives of your LOK members and your graduates, you touch the lives of everybody throughout the state. It's not just us, it's the 400,000 plus residents of the city of Tulsa, because G.T. Bynum is part of class 24 and is the mayor of Tulsa, or the 2,600 graduates of TCC because I am the president. Or let's look at it this way. Mike Jackson's in the House, class 23. He's the executive director of the Legislative Office for Fiscal Transparency. Literally, his LOK knowledge is being used to benefit all Oklahomans through fiscal transparency with our state agencies. None of us would know. Absolutely, he deserves a round of applause. None of us would know as much as we do about the challenges and tremendous assets and opportunities we have in this great state without this experience. Thank you so much for what it's done for me personally, for what it has done for our college and our students, and what it continues to do and will always do to improve leadership knowledge throughout our state. Much gratitude.